Ugh, I literally cannot even right now. I am so mad.
So, my favorite streaming service just jacked up its price by like $5 whole. Without even asking, $5. This is literally the most hostile takeover in history. It's just so cringe.
A hostile takeover? Over $5? Oh my gosh, Aswath. Seriously? You really need a history lesson.
Okay, look. You see this guy? This is Bahadur Shah Zafar. And his family? Yeah, they had to deal with an actual company taking over their entire kingdom. That, my friend, is a hostile takeover. Let me drop some receipts.
All right, so let's get into it. Picture this. The English East India Company rolls up in India, and they're all like, oh hey, we're just a humble little trading company, totally harmless, promise.
Okay, pop quiz smart guy. What's mercantile? Yeah, I didn't think so. It's basically the original hustle, right? Buy something cheap, sell it for way, way more. Like, think sneaker flipping, but on a massive scale. That was their whole vibe.
So their business plan was, not gonna lie, totally unhinged. Step 1, get the queen to give you a monopoly. Check. Step 2, go to India and buy up all the cool stuff. Spices, silk, you name it, for next to nothing. Step 3, sell it all back in Europe and make a ridiculous profit. Slay. And then there was step 4. What's step 4? Eliminate all the competition. Violently. Whoa, 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 violently?
Yeah, you can't just casually drop violently and move on. Spill the tea. Who were they fighting? Who was the competition? Well, here's the thing. The English weren't the only ones there. You had the Portuguese, the Dutch, the French. Basically, everyone was in India, and they all wanted the same exact stuff. We're talking fine cotton, silk, pepper, cloves. You get the picture. The hype was real.
No way. So this was all just a giant fight over, like, cinnamon? That's like a crazy fandom war, but with actual literal ships. Totally. They were sinking each other's ships, blocking the route so rivals couldn't get supplies. It was a legit war over spices. Absolutely brutal.
And things got even crazier when the company set its sights on Bengal. Why Bengal? Simple. It was like the richest province in all of India. Total main character energy.
Okay, so check this out. The company got what's called a firman, which is basically a royal decree that let them trade without paying any duties. Duty-free. But then their employees started doing their own private trading on the side. And guess what? They refused to pay taxes too. This started costing Bengal a ton of money.
Right. And you can bet the Nawabs of Bengal, the local rulers, were not happy. They were like, excuse me? You guys are cheating us, you're undermining our authority, and you're costing us a fortune. Yes, stand up to them. That is some real I'm the main character energy. Love to see it.
For sure, but all this tension, it was leading to something big, a huge showdown. And this, my friend, is where the story gets really, really wild. Let's talk about the Battle of Plassey.
Okay, so in one corner, we've got Robert Clive. He's the main man for the company. And in the other corner, we have Sirajuddaulah, the Nabob of Bengal. Okay, I'm just going to say it. Sirajuddaulah looks way more intimidating. Clive just looks kind of grumpy. So get ready for this. The Nawab's army was way bigger, but somehow he lost. And the number one reason he lost was because one of his top commanders, this guy Mir Jafar, his forces never even fought. They just stood on the battlefield and watched the whole thing go down. Hold up. What? No way. Why would they do that?
Because Clive had made a secret deal with him. The promise was simple: betray your Nawab, and we'll make you the new Nawab of Bengal. That is the ultimate backstab. That's not just villain behavior, that's like final boss level unhinged.
Oh, but wait, it gets even wilder. Years later, when he was back in England, Parliament was grilling him about all this. And his defense? He basically said he was astonished at his own moderation. The absolute audacity. He's literally saying, I could have taken so much more. You guys are lucky I was so nice about it. Wow, that's a supervillain monologue right there.
Exactly. And after that battle, everything changed. The company wasn't just a company anymore. Their goals got way bigger. It went from, let's trade with India, to, hey, why don't we just run India?
So they made good on their promise and put their puppet, Mir Jafar, on the throne. But, when he didn't do exactly what they wanted, they were like, you're fired, and put in this other guy, Mir Qasim. Then when he complained, they beat him in a battle and put Mir Jafar back. It was just this chaotic shuffle of puppet rulers.
Finally, Clive basically got fed up.
He was tired of these so-called puppets not being perfectly obedient. So he just declared, you know what? We need to become the Nawabs ourselves. Whoa, so that was it. That's the moment they were done pretending. It was full-on takeover mode.
Yup, and they started coming up with all these sneaky policies to grab even more land. One of the craziest was this thing called the Doctrine of Lapse. They just made up a rule that said if an Indian ruler died without a son to inherit the throne, then oops, guess the kingdom belongs to the company now. Are you kidding me? They were literally gatekeeping who could have a kingdom. That's wild.
And these tactics, they worked. By 1857, check this out, the East India Company directly controlled 63% of all the land in India.
But the land is one thing. That 63% of territory meant they were in charge of 78% of the people. A single company was ruling almost 80% of the population. Just think about that.
Wow, so they actually did it. A trading company pulled off the biggest hostile takeover of all time. They went from a small business to basically owning an entire country. You know, that $5 price hike on my subscription, suddenly seems kind of pathetic. See, that's what I'm talking about. And this isn't just some random old story. This history really, really matters.
Bet. So, quick question. You think unhinged mercantile policy is going to be on the exam? Because I think I'm ready for that essay question now.